If Panasonic called me tomorrow and said, yo, forget about another hybrid, design the Lumix camera you actually want us to build, this is what I'll tell them. A fully stacked full frame sensor, 6K 96 frames per second open gate, 4K 240 frames per second, internal RAW not compressed, maybe RE color signs, IBIS, electronic variable ND, 32-bit float, SDI, internal storage, all inside a compact cinema body. And before you come for me, I know Panasonic engineers will be fine with me. It's the accountants I'm worried about. I don't really want another Lumix hybrid camera. Lumix cameras for me are already very good. I currently own and consistently use the S5 IIX, S1 II and the S1R2. And between those cameras, Panasonic already gives us excellent IBIS, open gates, good autofocus, loads of codecs, active cooling, anamorphic tools, false color, waveforms, shutter angle, 32-bit float capability, Log C3 and all that jazz. So unlike some dream camera wish list, I'm not asking Panasonic to start from zero. They're already halfway there. And you agree with me that Panasonic has spent years putting cinema camera features inside mirrorless bodies. Maybe it's finally time they stop putting them inside mirrorless bodies. I want a proper compact cinema camera, something capable of giving me that beautiful organic image I've heard so much from the S1H. And instead of calling it the S1HC, which sounds a bit hybrid, I'll give it completely a new name, the Lumix C1. And there are really three things Panasonic would have to know: the image, the body, and the workflow. Let's start with the image. First thing I'm doing is actually giving this camera fewer megapixels. I don't want 50 or 44 megapixels, not 30. What I want is something between maybe 20, even less, and 24 megapixels full frame. And because this is a cinema camera, the engineering effort needs to be put into things I'm actually going to see in the image. Low light performance, dynamic range, sensor readout, improved, highlight roll-off, and of course color. The S1 II already is 24.1 megapixels and its partially stacked sensor is clearly built around speed more than chasing resolution. So take that philosophy and push it, because I don't want a partially stacked sensor anymore. Give me something fully stacked. I want a sensor readout fast enough that rolling shutter becomes something I almost stop thinking about. And you know what? If Panasonic can give me a global shutter, man, that would be mad. Now, when I originally started thinking about this camera, my target was at least 16 plus stops of dynamic range. But with what DJI has been able to do with the 4P, I think Panasonic can do this as well with the new cinema camera. But if Panasonic sat me down and said, look, you can have 17 plus stops with a very fast rolling shutter, or maybe slightly less with global shutter, I'll go for the latter, global shutter. And this is where I want Panasonic to stun a lot of people. Not 6K 30, not 6K 60, not even the 6K 96 that Ella mentioned. Give me 6K 1820p, open gate, full sensor 3x2, no ridiculous crop. And before somebody says why 120, because 120 frames per second gives me 5 times slow motion on the 24p timeline. I will immediately become one of the specifications that everybody will talk about when this camera gets announced. The current S1 II already does 6K 30 open gate, 5.1K 60 open gate, plus C 4K, cinema 4K, 4K 120. So now you've got a fully stacked sensor, more processing, better cooling. And we can push it even further to be able to do 4K 240 full width if Panasonic can physically pull it off with absolutely no crop. That would be fantastic. I hope you guys don't think I've gone crazy. It's RAW, and Panasonic doesn't get enough credit because I genuinely think their codecs are some of the best parts of their cameras. I've shot loads of Lumix MP4, which is basically H.265. Those files grade ridiculously well considering how manageable they are. I've even had Sony shooter friends commenting on the colors coming from my Lumix cameras when we've compared footage, even with a baked-in natural color profile. But while the S1 II already gives us internal ProRes RAW, I don't particularly want ProRes RAW in the new cinema camera I'm building. My workflow is heavily result based and the files can become enormous. You guys know that. So Panasonic, this is your opportunity to give me Panasonic RAW. Come up with your own compressed RAW format. 12-bit RAW will be absolutely fine. If somehow you've got a sensible reason for 14 or 16-bit, that would even be better. In fact, surprise me, but make it efficient. Give me compressed ratios. Let me choose between the maximum image quality and manageable storage, and most importantly, make it work beautifully and smoothly inside DaVinci Resolve. But if Panasonic doesn't want to create its own format, then give us internal B-roll. And no, I don't want to hang a video assist off the camera just to be able to get it recorded. I want it inside the camera itself. Of course, the body should be completely changed. No more DSLR compact mirrorless style bodies. It should be much more rectangular or cuboid shape, something smaller than the Blackmagic Pixels, closer to Red Komodo sort of territory. Small enough to put on a gimbal, small enough that I can strip everything off and travel with it, but covered in mounting points. Quarter 20s on top, quarter 20s on the side, 3/8 and quarter 20s on the bottom, proper mounting point underneath. Because if this is a cinema camera, I shouldn't have to spend $4,000 on it and then immediately have to spend another $300 to $500 worth of metal just so that I can attach stuff to it. Then also add IBIS and proper continuous autofocus and an articulating screen. Panasonic engineers, I'm sorry. I want Lumix IBIS and electronic variable ND together inside the same compact cinema camera. And trust me, I know how hard this can be because IBIS physically moves the sensor and the system needs space in the optical path, and we're also asking for a small full frame body, because if Panasonic figured out excellent full frame IBIS and electronic variable ND in a compact cinema body, that alone will get people talking and people buying. I want Panasonic to take things traditional cinema cameras do brilliantly and then add the things Panasonic already does better. That's the C1.
I brought Hafiz, who uses a Sony camera. This is the A74, right?
A74, yeah.
Full frame as well to check out Lumix's cropless stab. What do you think about this?
I mean, I'm blown away right now because I feel like that's the stabilization I need. And the fact that it doesn't crop. I think you guys got me. I must admit that
you have to switch.
And the fact that you get ARRI locks.
Yeah,
right?
C3, yes.
ARRI lock C3.
Now, if we're talking 6K 120 RAW and 4K 240, we're going to need somewhere to put those files in. So, internal storage, what we need to talk about. 512 gig minimum, but I really like 1 terabyte built into the camera. Then give me 2 CFexpress Type B slots. I think we should go past using SD cards, as of course they'll be too slow for what this camera will be able to do. And please make the internal drives serviceable just in case they die in 6 years from now. Panasonic should be able to open the camera, or a third party repair open the camera and replace the SSD, internal SSD, and send it right back to you or to me. Don't tell me, unfortunately, sir, your SSD have failed. Would you like to purchase the Lumix C2? No, please. And I don't want some tiny 3-inch screen on this. This screen is already good, it's articulating. Give me around a 4-inch OLED display that is bright enough, high resolution, and color accurate, or maybe color adjustable. You should be able to still tilt like this one does and articulate. Well, I trust Panasonic on that one. And I'm still keeping my EVFs. I love using the EVFs. I actually use mine on my Lumix S1 II and my S1R2. Maybe make it detachable, or maybe make it tiltable, pull out and tilt. Now for connections, definitely full size HDMI, keep that one please. But we're not gonna stop there. Let's have 12G SDI, that might increase the price. Maybe 3G SDI could be fine. Proper timecode in and out, Genlock USB-C, maybe 2 of them. One for power delivery and the other for data transfer. And battery wise, Panasonic, please make a new one. Panasonic already supported a 2-bit float recording through the DMW XLR2 when you have it attached on the hot shoe with compatible cameras. That's fantastic, but I feel like we can bypass having to attach audio on top of handles. Top handles could be for larger monitors. Maybe include 2 mini XLR ports with 32-bit float and a 3.5mm port that's 32-bit float capable as well. And now for autofocus, I don't just mean new AI processor now recognizes ostriches in the wild or giraffes that are higher than the clouds. We've got enough subject categories already. I want subject priority memory. Let me photograph or point my camera to something, shoot something, and register the people I'm filming. Now I'm filming an event, 15 people enter the frame, somebody walks directly behind the subject. The camera doesn't just go, oh, a fresher human, nice hair, and begins to focus on that person. No, you know what matters, you know who matters, stay on them. And this one is selfish because of the kind of work I do. I want Panasonic to take multi-camera control seriously. Latest Wi-Fi standard, but also 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. Maybe via an adapter if that would affect the size. Then build a proper browser interface, or maybe Lumix Control Pro app, whatever you call it. Camera A, camera B, camera C, camera D, maybe 6 cameras. And from one laptop or iPad, I want the ability to see all cameras, the ISO, white balance, shutter, electronic ND, iris, focus zoom, where supported. Okay, we've built our Lumix C1. 24 megapixels, fully stacked, full frame, sensor capable of 17 stops with dynamic range, potential global shutter, 6A 120p open gate, 4K 240, Panasonic RAW internal BRAW, Vlog, Log C3, whatever, IBIS, electronic variable ND, 1TB internal storage, CFexpress Type B, 3G or 12G SDI, full size HDMI, Timecode Genlock, 32-bit float, 4-inch OLED EVF, Ethernet, multicam control, camera to cloud, proper cooling, and how much is that going to cost us? Maybe this is where Panasonic's accountants probably unsubscribe or just stop watching this video. I'm going to say $3,699 to $4,799. You guys heard me right. I'm just rethinking this. Maybe $4,899. And I actually give Panasonic room to create 2 configurations. Yeah, that would make more sense. Maybe the entry C1 comes in around $3,699, 512 internal storage, same sensor, same image, same frame rate, same ND, same IBIS, same connections. Then maybe your higher end configuration, 1TB internal EVF included, active screen handle included, maybe a few other production accessories, and that lands at maybe $4,799 or $4,899. I don't want it to get to $5,000. I know why I'm saying this, but do you cripple the cheaper body? The S12's US MSRP is currently at $3,199.99. So imagine Panasonic coming out and saying, for around $500 more, here's a dedicated full-frame cinema body. Suddenly you've got conversations. Of course, you're going to get conversations. Now, obviously, putting everything I've described into a $3,699 camera would be extremely aggressive. I'm not pretending it would be easy. And that's the point of this video. I don't want Panasonic to make another camera that makes me say, yeah, that's pretty good. I want Panasonic to make a camera that will make a statement like they did with the S12, S1R2. I want Panasonic to announce something and make the rest of the industry go back to their drawing board and do something to the cameras and their pricing. Yeah, I said that, pricing. Wait, so they're charging how much now for that? That is the Panasonic I want, and that's the Panasonic I know. And here's why this isn't completely fantasy. Look at everything separately. Nikon has already demonstrated that compact cinema bodies can carry serious internal RAW recording even without a built-in fan. Canon already gives you stacked full-frame sensors, RAW, SDI, and internal ND in compact cinema EOS bodies. Sony proved there is a huge market for generally compact full-frame cinema cameras with the FX3 and now the FX5. Blackmagic has already shown how useful the box-style body and internal RAW workflow can be. So most of the individual ideas aren't science fiction. The ridiculous part is that I want Panasonic to put all of them together. So that's my perfect Lumix cinema camera. Not an S1 body with 10% more of everything, not an S1R2 with 12 more megapixels. No, I want a proper compact L-mount Lumix cinema camera called the Lumix C1. Build a sensor for filmmakers. Give me 6K 120p. Give me 4K 240. Give me the dynamic range. Give me the low light. Give me Panasonic RAW or internal BRAW. Give me Log C. Give me electronic ND, but don't take away my IBIS to do that, please. Give me proper professional connections, give me 32-bit float, give me proper multicam control, and build the entire camera around what actually happens on production. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If Panasonic actually announced the Lumix C1 tomorrow with the base model starting at $3,699, what feature on my list are you removing? And what have I still missed? But more importantly, if Panasonic actually built this camera, would you guys buy it? Because at $3,699, I'm not even going to pretend. I'm just gonna pre-order that camera. Yeah. Panasonic, my number is available if you want to call. My email is there if you want to reach out. If you found this fun, don't forget to sub to the channel. If you thought I was crazy, also don't forget to sub and tell me how much of a lunatic I am. It's a filmmaker. Thanks for watching. God bless and peace.